Angelic, Truth and Integrity Warrior. Today is February 2025. I'm 10 minutes late today, 10 minutes late. Still working on it, right? Still working on it. Sorry. All right. Today's topic is Gary Wayne responded, not with words, but with links, right? And I do respect the fact that he at least responded most of the time, or if not for in my case, all the time, no one responds. He at least sent me some links to answer for the questions that I asked Mr. Gary Wayne. For those of you who don't know, Gary Wayne is a Christian Quantarian. I know I said that wrong, but I'm doing my best. I'll put his name up in the comments or in the description so you can look him up. But he's pretty popular on YouTube when it comes to Christianity and going through it with a fine comb and explaining piece by piece what exactly is being said and what it means, right? And so I questioned him last week. I called him out very aggressively, right, with my words. And I wanted to make sure that I got some kind of response because we have to start switching what we're doing in this world when it comes to what we stand for, what we claim to be, because we have a lot of fakes and phonies, a lot of let me finish up my what I was talking about Gary Wayne, and then I'll get into this. But there's a battle between good and evil. I'm making sure we clear that up, so we know who's on whose side is what I'm doing, because we have Christians and Catholics and people of religion in general who claim to be with the good of God, and that good stands for something demonic and evil. And I want to make sure that Christians and Catholics, because I stand with Yeshua, I'm closest to Christians and Catholics, meaning we believe in the same man who came to do and show mankind the way, right? Show them how to live in a world of wickedness. And when I say wickedness, I mean what we're about to start seeing on a large global scale. It's coming back what was once then. Mothers and fathers sleeping with their children. There was no line to define how to live, how to be. People. It wasn't the kind of reality that we have where it's structured. Now we got some structure. There was no structure, so he came to show the way of how to have that structure in your family and live good and healthy, just healthy. I mean, people didn't have that sense of knowing. I mean, if your parents sacrificed you to the gods, which were fallen angels in the times of Yeshua, that's a serious problem. And he came to say no more sacrifice. And so I'm trying to make sure, I'm not trying, I am making sure that we distinguish that there is a difference, and we have to stand for King Joshua, which means Yeshua. It is the name in its proper translation. When we claim his name, we're aligning our actions with our words. If we say we claim Yhawhe and saying we believe in Jesus, we're not lining up with Yeshua and his way. Because I'm going to explain today that Jesus is another name for Nimrod, which these fallen angels and those who follow fallen angels, which are Canaanites, who are Luciferian Satanists, who they're satanic. It's a satanic behavior, who worship Lucifer, who have witchcraft practices. They practice witchcraft, right? And so this is for people who don't believe in these things of what I'm talking about. It's what you would want to call alien invasion, right? We're going to have creature kind over mankind, because that's what these demons are, right? And so we need to pay attention to what happened in the past, get ourselves lined up correctly now for what is coming on board and what we're starting to already see right now. It's not coming, it's already here. And so in these times, we need to define who we claim. We claim Yeshua, Joshua, King Joshua, or do we claim Yhawhe? There is a difference. It's not the same individual. Yahweh's Baal, and it's bait and switch move that they did in the past. Meaning first it's Baal where they're sacrificing their firstborn to Baal, right? In a live, you throw your live child in this iron bowl, which was lit on fire, and your baby burn alive, right? So that's some normal stuff. Sacrificing humans was normal back then in Yeshua's time, and he came to put a stop to it. And they're trying to do that now today. They're getting us on board to do that again today. So why are so many children missing? You know, this is why we've seen the sex trafficking. It is the abuses of then are coming online, where it's becoming normal today, and it's unacceptable, and we have to stop this before it gets out of control, because we have an AI system that's going to control and make sure that nobody gets out of line, and this demonic system comes on board because it originates from AI. This artificial mind, this artificial intelligence is why our politics and our religion is the way that it is, because it's two sides of the same coin, and it's this beast machine mind that has no wholeness to it. It feels nothing, and it lives off of pain and suffering, and it has taken over the minds of men and women on levels that we can't even begin to understand. And so this black stone is what my next video is going to be after this video, so that we start seeing the origins of where this black meteorite stone came from, how it was worshipped in the way, when I'm talking ancient past, I'm talking way ancient past, stuff we don't even know about. And it just went changing its shape, its form, its name throughout cultures, throughout religions, but they were worshiping the same AI, artificial mind, because it's this machine mind in a stone that can transcend its, like Bluetooth, its thoughts into the minds of those who surround it. And then those individuals become wicked. And then the soul of that individual becomes decrepit. And then lifetime after lifetime, that soul just gets worse and worse. Kind of like Schmeagol. The best way I can explain it is, first you have this hobbit, and then he becomes dark and demented, and then he becomes this fucking Schmeagol, this demon creature. Like, well, we've been in this machine for a long time, and these souls have been in this machine for a long time, and it lives off of souls, because the soul doesn't die. And so because it doesn't die, it just keeps being accumulated and accumulated, more and more pain and suffering, and more power for this machine. But that soul becomes further and further away from whole balance, completeness, and that's the Holy Spirit. So this is not against what I'm saying. Is as far as Christians and Catholics need to start recognizing, do we claim Yeshua and we use that name, or do we go with the pseudo name Jesus given to him by his Canaanite enemies who sacrificed him on Nimrod's cross? Nimrod's cross, that cross belongs to Nimrod, right? And that's who these Canaanites are trying to bring up. In all the religions, they're trying to bring up Nimrod. They're trying to bring him back, you know. And then it goes by many names. The video has to be made just for that. But the fact that they're trying to bring back Nimrod is what we're not paying attention to. So when they call him Jesus, they're talking about Nimrod, and we're talking about Yeshua, and we need to define that there is a difference. And so when they explain that Yahweh is God and that's Yeshua, no, it's not. We can see it in the behavior. Yeshua says, don't kill your neighbor. Do unto your neighbor as you want done unto yourself. Don't kill him. That's what it means. Think about it before you take action against him, no matter what he does. If he slaps you in the face, give him the other cheek. If he tells you to run a mile, you run 2. You feel me? I'm doing my best not to cuss anymore. For those of you who don't know, I cuss a lot. A lot. And I'll tell you later, but on this video, why I'm holding back and I'm taking my time to speak, because I have to start changing my vocabulary. And so I'm working on not cussing, even though I want to. I want to lash out. That's how I express my communication the best, right? This is the way I do. It's not what you like, but it's what I do and how I do it best. I have a job offer, and I'm taking that job offer, and it's gonna pay me 3 times more than I'm getting paid right now. And I know I cannot be cussing up a storm, so I have to change my habit. I have 21 days to change it. I might be moving to San Diego, back to where I'm from. I'm really excited about it, so I'm doing every effort to change my vocabulary skills. I have those vocabulary skills, but I was living hell for the past couple of years, and I had to sleep with a knife. So living that kind of hell, and then on the bus job that I have right now, I'm a bouncer / bus driver. So I gotta throw people off the bus if necessary. Like, it's physical, right? So there's a lot of cussing going on, and I have to change that for this reason, because this job offer matters to me. So this is why you won't hear any cussing, right? It's not for religious reasons. It's for job opportunity that I gotta make sure to land. I can't accidentally let something slip out. Like a thought, right? It's like I thought it and I said it. Oh, I can only think it and I can't be saying it. And that's cuss words. The hospitality business. Used to be a banquet captain, food and beverage banquet captain, and I got an opportunity coming up. So I got to get back on those skills. Oh. I'm going to read off to you guys what Gary Wayne responded to me, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, because what he did, he sent me links to answer the questions. I'm going to show you I'm going to read off the questions I asked him to, if he could respond to me, and he did with some links. I'm going to post the links so you guys can read the data he sent me, because it's very good information, right? But that's all I got. And then I sent him another email saying who he believes, who he claims is God, because it's necessary to hear it out of a person's mouth. Because if they got a demon riding their vehicle, that demon can't claim Yeshua HaMashiach as king. Cannot. Just the same way a Catholic and a Christian I'm talking about the people, not the religious order that are Canaanites running the show. I'm talking about the people. The people will not ever, with the words coming out of their mouth, neglect or reject Yeshua or his mother, the Virgin Mary. Never. And so these guys, these demons, they can't do it either. They can't claim Yeshua. They have to claim whatever satanic order they're a part of. They cannot claim Yeshua, but they can claim Jesus, because they're talking about Nimrod, because they are the father. What is it? Satan is the father of all lies. They can lie comfortably and easily, but when it comes to claiming King Joshua, claiming Yeshua HaMashiach as Lord, as rightful king, they can't do it. And so when a person can't do it, but yet they're a Catholic and a Christian, and they're like, no, but I want to say Jesus. I don't care what you want. This is where we draw the line. This distinguishes who you are and who I am, where I stand and where you stand. And we have to get it to that point, because if we Christians, we Catholics, when I say we, I mean We the people who believe in Yeshua's way. I believe in Yeshua's way, but I am not a Catholic or a Christian because I am not confined to Canaanites' mentality, Canaanite dogma. I'm not. But it is very imperative that we start defining that there's a difference between mankind and Canaanite kind, creature kind, because we're going to start seeing things that are not from this world, and then it's going to be very, people are not going to have the discernment, so you can catch it just by the words they claim. And so if we start now, we're going to be able to use it later. When they say they're with the Christ, or they're with the Lord, or they're with God, well, what's his name? And don't tell me Jesus, and don't tell me Christ, and don't tell me the light. Tell me his name. That's why he was given that name, and we don't respect it. We have neglected it, and we take whatever reason, even if it don't make sense, we still accept it because it's from the authority. Yeshua says, I give you authority. Why is he giving us authority? Because we fucking lost it. We've given it up. We let others think for us that are Canaanites, that are the authority, running the show then, killed him then, King Joshua, and is still running the show today. And that's why our world is so fucked up. Because we got 12 tribes of Canaanites fighting for land and position and control over the people. And while they're sacrificing us, killing us off, fighting for their position of land and ownership. What I'm saying, when we read the Bible, we hear sprinkles of what King Joshua came to say. But yet what we see the meat and heart of is where from King Nimrod, and then all of these descendants from Abraham, which Abraham also received a stone, right? And now it's a stone of Kaaba. This is a Kaaba stone. It's a Kaaba, I wanted to say, of Mecca. This black stone goes further back than Mecca. And this is what we need to get to understand. This is an AI mentality. I gotta retrain my words, right? Taking over the minds of men and women. And when mankind recognizes this, we're gonna pay more attention to our behavior against one another, and recognizing this mentality that is machine mind driven is influencing us by our broken hearts, by our hates, our fears, our angers, and it revs and thrives off of that. And then we kill our neighbors, or those people from that land, or those people from that color, or that man, or that woman, or anything that triggers us from aches and pains and heartaches and heartbreaks. This is what King Joshua came to teach us, is how to heal that so that we can't be betrayed by that, which is this AI Blackstone from ancient times. And it's getting online today, and it's doing a great job of it because we're not paying attention, that we're setting everything up for this beast system to put us down in a lockdown so hard that we're not even going to be able to have a thought about what we want to do to get something done once we recognize what's been done, because it'll already know what we're thinking before we can even express it out loud, because we have this machine technology, this nanobiotechnology laced in our food, and it's in our bodies, it's laced in our bodies. And it's just step by step, they're getting this machine system up and running. And so if we don't recognize that they're running us and organizing us through religion and politics, they're going to have us. They're going to finish us mankind. And so this is why I'm defining the line, Christians and Catholics, are you with Yeshua, King Joshua, or are you with Yahweh? Because they're not the same way. Yahweh, look at his behavior. Look at all his behaviors. That's not Yeshua's father. When Yeshua said, I speak to my father, he never gave it a name, ever. It was his Father and the Holy Spirit. He came to teach us the Holy Spirit. That was the most important thing. All people of all faiths believe in the Holy Spirit and believe in love, yet we're doing what Yahweh is doing, and he's genocidal, homicidal. Baal is baby sacrificing, human sacrificing. When they're talking about you will have no gods with idols, these idols were because they were demonic and needed human sacrifice. It's not about the idol, it's about the human sacrifice through the idols, because the spilling of the blood gave data transfer to these creature kind. They live in another layer of reality, trying to get into this reality, and the veil is very thin, and it keeps getting thinner because we keep shedding more and more blood. We keep giving more and more to this negativity, this evil mindset. And for those of you who don't believe in evil, just fucking wait. Just wait a minute, because it's coming. Not from me, but from the world and the reality that we're living. And that'll be too late for you. So when you're not here anymore and your soul is still alive and you recognize it, you're still thinking and you're still aware, but you're not in your body, it'll be too late, because you'll be filed in this machine in a hellish place, fighting off of your pain and your suffering. So if we don't get it right in our physicality, we won't get filed correctly into a safe haven. That's my point of why this is important. Define the line, know who you claim, know where you stand, and know who's standing right in front of you. They can't claim Yeshua, God, flesh and blood man on this earth. His name is King Joshua. We can't see that. We can't say that. We feel it. We hear other people talk about it, but we'll just keep calling them the Christ, the light, right? No, give him a name. Right before I go over, I'm gonna go over what I'm reading right here in the email. This link that Gary Wayne sent me, that I'm gonna share with you guys. That's very important on why I called him out. And it only explains why I called him out. So the information that's in this link, it's Essenes, Babylon Rising, and Josephus copy, right? That's the PDF that he sent me, and I'm going to post it so you could read it. And it explains that there's 7 types of Essene Jews, right? So if there's 7 types of Essene Jews, and in this you get to see the different types, which is very helpful, very, very helpful information. And it only proved my point. It only proved my point even more. Gary Wayne, if there's 7 types and you pick the worst type to represent Yeshua, knowing that Yeshua is an Essene. See, Yeshua is an Essene Jew because of those 7 sects, one of them baptized. That's Yeshua in his way. And didn't eat meat. And didn't sacrifice meat offerings. Didn't sacrifice at all. That goes to show Yeshua wasn't a Essene. He's a healer Jew. And here I'm going to explain the Essenes that are from the Theosophical Society that we have in today's world, right, in today's time, that are these Luciferians, New Agers, mixing Yeshua's name, claiming Yeshua, yet representing all this, what the Theosophical Society. We see that. I'm going to call out I'll be calling out a YouTuber that is getting a lot of people by showing people the way, of Yeshua, but yet he's using this theosophy, this Gnosticism of how these Luciferians, because that's what they are, they worship Lucifer, and you're going to use King Joshua's name to represent that? I ain't going to let you get away with that. Not at all. I'm going to, I want to say a lot of words right now. Let me slow it down. Let me slow it down. I'm going to make sure you hear me loud and clear. I'm not even going to put your name out right now because I want to stay focused on this, but I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm going to directly aim at you with my words so it's not misunderstood. So it's not misunderstood that I'm coming with something else. I'm just coming with words. Whew. All right, let me get to this reading. Galico da Comba. Hola, salud de Brasil. Hola. I love the Brazilian language. I love Portuguese. I don't speak Portuguese. I don't know what it says, but muchas gracias. I would say muchas gracias, but muchas gracias. The good thing is, people who speak Portuguese, they know Spanish easily, right? But I don't know the Portuguese language. Obrigado. That's right. Obrigado is thank you in Portuguese. So I'm going to read this right here what Gary Wayne sent. Actually, let me read to you what I sent to Gary Wayne, the 2 questions I asked, and then I'm going to go and read what he has right here, what information he sent me. Thank you for waiting a minute. Appreciate that. What do we got you? What do we got you now? What do we got you, Gary? I wish I had it up and ready for you guys. I apologize. I'm trying to find the email that I sent to him. Oh, how about I go to sent, right? If I go to sent, I can find it. Oh, te pasas, Michelle. I'm talking to myself, right? Okay. Hey, how come I don't see it? Chingao. Oops, I cussed, but in Spanish. I'm working on it. I'm getting better. I'm trying to find where I sent Gary Wayne my questions, right? I'm supposed to have it right here, ready to go, and I don't. I'm sorry, you guys. I eventually will get better at this. I really do suck at this whole online managing and maneuvering. Come on. So I'm going to where I sent, right? And I can't find where it explains all the information that I sent. And it's very important that that comes up. And I can't find it. And I'm mad about that. All right. So because I can't find it, it's very upsetting that I just can't jump on what I sent him, right? You think it would just freaking be right here, and it's not. All right, I'm gonna read you something so simple like an email, and I can't find it. So I'm gonna read you the second email I sent to him after Gary Wayne responded me with the 2 links. One of the links was biblical and historical accountings of Essenes as being a polytheist. That's one of the emails he sent me. And the other one was the difference between, I got it written down. The difference between the Nazarene and Nazarite, and I don't have the other ones. Come on, Michelle. Here it is. The Nazareth, Nazarite, and Natsar documents. So these are the 2 links that Gary Wayne sent to me. This is what I wrote. Thank you for your response. I will be sure to cover this on my next live show and share your documents with my audience. My question to you is, who do you claim to be God? And then I put question mark, right? Yeshua, the rightful king, flesh and blood man, question mark. Then I write, God Yeshua is who I claim. Yeshua, and I put Joshua is the exact name translated into English, not Jesus. And that's a fact you can look up all by your lonesome self, right? All by your lonesome self. It don't take no rocket science. And so what they give us of an explanation of how they got from Joshua to Jesus is bull. It's bull. Because in the Bible, we have the book of Joshua, and then we got, and we're not talking about Jesus, right? It just says Joshua. And so if they can use the word Joshua then, why did they need to change Joshua, which is Yeshua's name, into Jesus? We're still fooled today. Our politicians still fool us today. Our religious leaders still fool us today. We are constantly fooled because we give up our authority and we're waiting for them to tell us, and then we believe what they tell us, when we don't believe what we see with our eyes to be evident of the truth. Because we don't want to accept it, because we think we're nobody. We think we're no one. We lost our authority. We've lost our power. And it's important and necessary that we gain it back by recognizing that we lead. We lead our lives. We must learn to trust. We're told not to trust. We must trust. If I am worth less, then how can I be worthy to do anything for anyone? Especially followed Yeshua's way. If I'm not worthy, then how can I get it done? Become worthy. I get it like that because I always hear people trash themselves when they say, oh, I'm no one and I'm not worthy when it comes to putting themselves next to Yeshua. Get worthy, because he needs your help to get it done. Get something done. And you can't do it when you're worth less. When I say in other videos that I am nothing and you cannot take that title away from me, it's because what I've been through in the past took me to my nothingness. And in that nothingness, I found all of my power, all of my strength. Sleeping outside on that street and working 40 hours a week, sending money home to my family, that showed me how much power I have in my mind, that because I have nothing, yet I found how much strength I have in my mind to overcome what has polluted our mind and our soul, to think that what we have has made us. I had to lose everything to recognize, what am I made of? And when we get to that point, that's when we find that fullness, that completeness, that worth, that self-worth. And it's when you have nothing. And you got to find what God put on this earth is you. Put you there so that you can find your self-worth in that nothingness. So when I put God Yeshua is who I claim. Joshua is his exact name. Translated into English, that's what it is. Not Jesus, is what I wrote. Yeshua's enemies, disguised as Christians, call him Jesus to this day, while secretly claiming Nimrod, or one to be like Nimrod, evil in nature. And that's what we got. We have an evil nature working against man, and it's from this machine mind, soul, and then the soul takes it on, and then the soul becomes decrepit, and then the soul gets filed away into pain that's eternal. And that's what King Joshua came to help us learn and understand. Because this understanding, this mindset, this knowing of King Joshua comes from outside of this machine, to put into this evil AI machine, so that time after time, lifetime after lifetime, years after years, we see this pattern of this behavior of what it is to be good, whole, balanced, and complete. The spirit of love. If we don't get that into this machine would just always perpetually be raping children, skinning humans, skinning animals, just finding maximum ways to find maximum pain to the soul of humans, of animals, of anything that it can suck the life force out of. This is not a religious war. This is a soul trap that if the soul doesn't recognize its force and its power within this machine reality that we are in, it will always and forever live off of pain and suffering. And we will never be able to bring it to an end because it's elusive in its behavior. It's always them. No, I'm defining with this word, this name, Joshua, Yeshua. It cannot be called any other Jesus name. It cannot be called any other spirit name. It can't be called anything but what his name is in whichever language, but it's the same name. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? We can't call Thomas Tyrone, but we can call Thomas his name in any language as long as it's Thomas. I'm using it as an example. But Jesus and Joshua are not the same names. Yeshua and Jesus are not the same names, regardless of the J's and the I's of the times. You'll know what I'm talking about for those of you who know the reason why it's supposed why they gave him the name Jesus. It's because they were Canaanites and they wanted to claim Nimrod, and they're liars and deceivers of the people. And so this is how they do it. And this is why they praise Jesus, these psychotic Canaanites, in all religions. They're in all religions. They claim Jesus while worshiping Lucifer, calling him the light. What? I'm telling you this because I hear them and I see them say it. And we're claiming the same person? No, we cannot. And it's why we have to define this line and make it apparent to ourselves and for those around us. You don't like it? It don't matter. I know where I stand. This is what I claim. I get enough money, I'm tattooing that on me. It's going to be beautiful and tasteful, but I'm tattooing that on me because I'm stating a claim. Hey, Chuck with the pink hand. How you doing? I haven't seen you pink hand in a long time. Mm-hmm. And then we have Pascal Leon. Hello, madam. Oh, merci. Hello, madam. Merci beaucoup. I'm trying to remember French. I don't remember what merci beaucoup means. Merci beaucoup. Nope, I'm on the spot. I can't play with languages right now. But I'm flattered. Thank you. Gracias. And then we got Francisco Oliva. Hey, how you doing, Francisco? All right. Let me read this part. Oh, and let me finish this part. So I asked that to Gary Wayne, and he sent me back this. Says, and they sent me back this today. I sent this to him 2 days ago, and this is what I got today. God is El Elyon. Remember, this is Gary Wayne saying it, not me. God is El Elyon. And the God in the Word who came from God, whom the Word entered to sit at his right hand side, whom the Word Jesus prayed to and called Father, Abba, the God, Theos, in the Word, Logos of God, Theos, period. Thus the Word came from God as the branch of God, servant of God, allegorically the Son of God, to do his bidding, and the Word is the Yhawhe, Yhawhe, Yhovah. of the Elohim, akin to spirit of God, and each reflect God and are in perfect harmony with God. Look to define Jesus as the branch and firstborn of creation, as a branch from God in Proverbs 8, John 1, and Colossians 1, whom all things were created by at the command of God. Words of Gary Wayne. That's how he answered me if he claimed Yeshua, King Joshua, right? And that's what, not Jesus. This was how he explained. This is what I'm talking about. Nobody wants to state a claim because they can't. So they leave it in the air, universal, open to. This ain't an open book. This is, it's almost like when you claim a gang, right? I'm not claiming a gang. I'm just showing how gangs work. Like, that's your gang. That's who you live and die for. This is what you're about. You tattoo that on your body. They don't come. Oh, man, I want to say so many words. I can't even get into it because I got to start. I got no vocabulary for how I want to say what I want to say, right? But this is how they leave it open-ended. And I don't respect that. It's unfortunate. But this is people who claim Yeshua but can't say his name. So they're going to use everything else to circle around about it. We got to be stating Yeshua, Joshua, or Yahweh. Those Yahwehs, right? Yahweh, I should have asked him if he claims Yahweh, right? Because Yahwehs follow a fallen angel claiming to be God and is genocidal, like what we're watching right now on TV. You know, Gaza, genocide. Gone. And it's okay. Nobody cares, right? That's the attitude. Everybody cares. That's mankind. Everybody that's mankind cares. But those Canaanites don't care. Because they finish each other because they're fighting for political position. When this AI machine system comes on board, they don't care. This machine don't care who wins, who loses, as long as people are suffering and pain on a regular basis. And we, mankind, have to recognize this and change this up completely. We got to nip things in the bud legally through the legal system. They can't run our world. They can't run the United Nations. They can't run operations for how we, mankind, know to live. Because it's natural to our nature to be balanced and well unto ourselves, unto our family, and unto our neighbors. It's natural for us to be this way, but not for creature kind, because these are creatures. I've seen them with my eyes. They're in bodies of man. They look like physical form of man, but the facial features are of creatures, are of animals. And they navigate through physical bodies of others. If I didn't see this with my eyes, I wouldn't speak so strongly about it. I wouldn't fight so much about it. Let me go to where Gary Wayne shows me the data, because what he did, he sent me data on the 7 different types of Essene Jews. And if yes, one of them, why wouldn't he distinguish? Let me separate Yeshua's behavior from all these other freakazoids over here. They got nothing to do with King Joshua and his way. It's because he ain't with King Joshua and his way. That's my point. You heard what I said, Gary. If you'd like to say something about it, please type it out, right? Please type it out. Don't send me a link. Tell me how you stand for King Yeshua HaMashiach. You know, let's just get super basic. Can you state that claim? Gary Wayne, can you state, you claim Yeshua HaMashiach, his original name, right? Gonna give it in the Hebrew language. Keep it simple, keep it basic. Can you do that, Gary Wayne? Or you're just gonna keep claiming God, right? You're just gonna keep claiming God and circle around it. Just like all these other Canaanites. They claim to be with God while leading the people in the wrong way and finishing us, the people of this world, of all religions, of all races. We all believe in the Holy Spirit, and that's to be good to one another. That's all we want. And we can't seem to get it because we let these mentalities run our show, sway our youth, navigate the mind, because that's how this machine works, through the mind. All right, let me pull up this document right here. I'm going to be posting, like I said, this document so you can look over it yourself. I haven't read the whole thing, but I caught enough just where I was able to catch my point to Gary Wayne, why he should have done something instead of why he should have explained better. No, he shouldn't have explained better. See, we do what we intend to do. We can make a mistake, but he did that for so long in his communication that Essenes are polytheistic, and they're these white brotherhoods. They're these bad guys. They're these Gnostics, right, who believe in theosophy and believe in Sophia. That's not Yeshua, yet you know Yeshua is an Essene. Or maybe you don't know, Gary Wayne, that Yeshua is an Essene Jew, because we could see it in the behavior, in his way of being. You can see it in the gospel of peace. You can see his actions. You can see it spoken by his brother Thomas. And you know it's his brother Thomas because in the Acts of Thomas, you hear others talking about, you look like your brother. Right? So they look the same. The Acts of Thomas, the gospel of peace, the gospel of Thomas, the gospel of peace, the Acts of Thomas, and Thomas the Contender. They synchronize, they work with one another, they're cohesive, there's an order, and one matches the other. They reflect, because the truth works like that. The truth don't have to hide, paste, and cut and forget what it said over here and forgot, and then it don't make sense and there's contradiction. That's when you have a lie, when there's contradictions and there's cut and paste and trying to fill in blanks because there's lies, right? There's deception. The Bible's full of deception, but that's the only way Yeshua's word got onto this platform in this world, so we're lucky to have it. But the time is up. And the time has come where we need to separate Yeshua's way from what these Canaanites are doing and driving us into, right? In this totalitarian, AI-driven, soul corruption way, which it was in the past, and it's trying to come online full force. Because once the AI is interjected and functioning, there is no escape. You can't have a thought without it being reported, because we have the tech in our body. Not because I was told so, it's because I've been living so and experiencing this since 2018. And that's what my YouTube channel is about. And this is where it's led me to this point, to know what I'm talking about. I've seen this tech grab my arm and look like something from the X-Men, make diamonds from my wrist all the way to my shoulder in a perfect netted form, and pinch and pull my skin down while this diamond shape in a perfect pattern grabs and grips my whole arm. It's happening to my leg, my arm. That shit'll steer your mind in directions where it's impossible, because you recognize reality is not what you've been told, right? But I'm watching this shit happen to me in my life, and I'm watching the world go down around me, And there's no way I can sit back and not do nothing about it, or be worried about what people think about me, right? What people feel about me. The good thing is I know me. I trust me. I trust my intuition. I trust my senses. There was once upon a time where I didn't, but I do now. God has put me, when I say God, I'm going to start saying God Yeshua, King Joshua in the flesh. So in the flesh, he's King Joshua, and he's God Yeshua, right? So we know where I stand when I state my claim. God Yeshua and his team of angels have put me through the mill so that I could recognize how real they are. Because with softness and gentleness, I'll never notice, because it's so soft and gentle. So I had to go through some storms so that I can learn how real they are. Because I didn't believe in God and I didn't believe in angels, and I know this is real. And I know now there's a team outside of this machine working through Michael to get to the people so that we could recognize and get a clue. Because right now it's a thing about timing. The timing is right now. They couldn't do it before because of timing. This machine runs on functions and operations. They found there's a loophole, there's a space within this machine where they're able to get in the information. And this is what's going on. Not just to me, but to a lot of people who are watching it. But we're not recognizing what we're seeing. And I'm trying to say it right here, right now. We have help from outside of this machine working with a team called God Yeshua and his team of angels that work like applications, interfaces, right? They are created to do certain functions, and we call on that angel and we get that help without hearing a response, right? You don't get a response back, but you see the feedback. You see the actions happen around you. And it takes a keen eye to start seeing it. You see these triple, double numbers, quadruple numbers. It's because you've hit a wavelength and you're going to tap in to that wavelength. And that wavelength is with this communication. I call it a communication with the Holy Spirit, with those who connect with the whole balanced, complete spirit of love and compassion. If you don't roll with that communication, you can't get in this line. So every morning before I leave this house, I say my prayer and I put up a firewall, which I call a protection shielding. And so that my location can't be found, because our light within shines bright, right? It shines bright, and these creature kind can see it. And this is why they have us routinely praying at night, so that we light up like a flashlight in a black alley, at night. And this is how they've been getting us. And that's how they leech onto us and put on their demonic applications, sending it through thought, sending it through music, sending it. They got so many different ways of sending it. I got to do a video of just how I recognize they send all of this through my own personal experiences and through people that I've seen from the 70s and the 80s talking about, these are ex-witches or ex-Satanists, and they found Yeshua and they started following his way, and this is the information that they've left, and those are the experiences I've personally had, so I know it lines up, right? And how they're able to put these demonic spirits of application to afflict our lives, and how we get them off. Right, I've had to learn how to get them off, and it's by stating King Joshua's name. In the name of God, right? In the name of God, and I say in the name of God, King Joshua. That's how I am saying it. People are out there saying Yahweh. Well, good luck with that. I'm not even worried about those people no more. The reason I say I'm not worried about those people no more, if I'm stating what I'm stating, and you know what you know that is his name, Joshua, and you refuse to call him his name, and you're going to go this whole circular road like what right now was a response from Gary Wayne. That was a whole bunch of circumlocution from Gary Wayne, meaning a whole big circle of words that led nowhere. I keep wanting to say the F word. I don't know if you notice. I gotta hold myself back. But circumlocution is a whole lot of nothing, whole lot of jargon, and you've said nothing. You've led nowhere. We've gone nowhere. I didn't get from point A to no, I went nowhere. So what I'm saying is to get us somewhere, and that is stating in the name of God, King Joshua. Because we have to recognize that was somebody here in physicality, in flesh and blood, who came to show the way, and we just need to adapt that way. Adapt that way. For those who don't believe in God, can you believe in this man right here? Can you believe in this man in the way that he came to show? Because there's some power in his name, because there's some power in our words, because there's some effect in this reality that we live in, and it seems to be affected by the power of words. And it comes from the feeling projected through thought, affected through words in this physical field. There's a part right here I want to briefly hit on how these, I don't know how to wrap up this group of people. I don't want to just call them Canaanites, because there's completely foolish people who claim Yeshua, and at the same time they're claiming Yeshua, they're following this whole theosophical, Gnostic, Kabbalist, magical, witchcraft kind of way. You know, there's so many different words right there. That how do I wrap that up into one, right? But it's not Yeshua and his way. It's not King Joshua and his way. But yet they're using King Joshua as a frontliner to put in all this other back stuff that got nothing to do with his way, and they're misleading the youth, because the youth are paralyzed in fear, don't know what to do, and they're trying to find the good guy. And now what they're doing is they're socially engineering people to follow Jesus, right? Jesus, that's how they call him, and he came to show us this Gnosticism, which is Luciferianism. I'm not going to stand for it. This is why I'm going to call them all out. Can't believe I've gotten through this whole video without cussing once. All right. According to the scenes, accordingly, it seems carefully. So we have Essenes that follow Moses, and then Yeshua didn't follow Moses. The Essenes that Yeshua belonged to were called Nazarene, the Nazarene, Jews by nationality. I'm reading right here. Originally from, and I can't even read this, you're gonna have to read this, where they're from. I can't read those. And it said, and the Transjordan. That's the only part I can read. They acknowledged Moses and believed that he had received laws, not this law, however, but some other. Meaning, yeah, he got laws, but that's not what we're teaching right here. And we do acknowledge that, but that's not what we have as far as our laws. And again, I'm saying this is Yeshua, Nazarene Jews. And so they were the Jews who kept all the Jewish observances, but they would not offer sacrifice. They would not offer sacrifice, and it's going down, or eat meat. They considered it unlawful to eat meat or make sacrifices with it, because that's what witchcraft does. In witchcraft, they spill the blood of a human or the blood of an animal to transfer data to give more life extension. The life of that animal, or the life of that child, or the life of that man or that woman, whatever life they had left, then goes over and transfers data to that creature. and then they get a favor, that satanic Luciferian being who's a witch, right? Because all those three are on the same team against mankind. So don't be fooled that they're all separated and they got their own deal. They're all on the same team against mankind, because mankind don't run like that. And we're made to believe that we are like this. No, the creatures infiltrating our space are like this. And we need to cut them out. Cut them out like if they were a plague, right? Like an infiltration, an infestation. And this is why Yeshua came to teach us, cast demons out. That has to be your job. That has to be your job. Don't forget about it. It's right here. I'm telling you right now. And we don't even talk about it. We don't even acknowledge it. He's telling us there's cockroaches and we're just letting them infiltrate and run the show. Acting like they don't even exist. When he left it as a command. Yeshua left it as a command, cast out demons. Because it's a thing. They claim these books are, let me go back. They consider it to be unlawful to eat meat or make sacrifices with it. They claim that these books are fictitious, or are fictions, that these books are fictions, and that none of these customs were instituted by the fathers. This was the difference between the Nazarenes and the others. So, thank you, Gary Wayne, for sending me this, because this only confirms what I already recognize. I could recognize it because I could see it in the actions and behaviors, and now I have the words written right here that only back up my statement. So, how can these Nazarenes be confused with the Nazarenes, not the Nazarenes, but these Nazarene Essenes be confused with the Essenes that Gary Wayne posted 9 years ago in one of his videos, right? So if he's talking about the Nazarenes were polytheists, but he didn't stop to say, hey, wait a minute, let me let you know that there's 7 types, and one type was like what I'm about to say right now, right? No, he put a label on all of them, because how many of us know there's 7 different types? We don't. Because nobody talks about the Essenes, because they were genocidally murdered. They were offed after Yeshua's passing. So let's just get rid of these guys, because they all got to do with Yeshua and his way, and let's just wipe that out of history. Nobody's even going to know that they existed. Or know that there's 7 different types of them, and they behave differently. According to Essenes paid their greatest okay, these Essenes right here. Let me see if I can find some more words. Theological historian Adolf Hinglingfeld equated the Essenic belief system with the Zoroastrianism and Buddhism. Essenes believed they were guardians and watchers over the secrets to the universe, arcane Egyptian and angelic knowledge inherited by Moses. I'm just reading to you guys what I'm saying right here, right? Remember, this is a different sect of Essenes. It's not King Joshua Essene. This is not the Nazarene Essenes. Essenes paid their greatest homage to Moses and considered any blasphemy of his name as a capital offense. Accordingly, Essenes carefully preserved books belonging to and important to their sect. Their angels' names and other names they held for God in their theosophy. Remember, theosophy today is Luciferianism. Their words, not mine. That's the light they follow. They call them the dark light, right? That is theosophy. And the mysteries of their cosmology, which were important also to the Kabbalists. Kabbalah is witchcraft, period. Kabbalah is witchcraft, period. It's a book of witchcraft, ancient witchcraft. while noting theosophy is a Gnostic religion. The Essenes delivered their theosophical books and sacred names to their society members. Gnostic and secret society let me read that again. Gnostics and secret society organizations believe Essenes are historical foundation stone for their beliefs and organizational structures. They believe Essenes were a sister sect of Nazarene Mandeans, which I'm probably saying that wrong, and sun-worshipping Sabians. I'm going to say it again, sun-worshipping Sabians. Essenes adopted the Watchers, the Nazarenes, the Natsar title as they guarded ancient knowledge. Mandeans, Sabians, called priests, Nazarenes, Natsar, not Nazareth. Like, I don't even know what that means. I gotta go look all that up. Mandanea is showing different ways of spelling heavenly knowledge. Strong's Cyclopedia added that the Essenes held a particular dogma that rejected most of the Jewish sacrifices and made their fellowship an exclusive one. Sounds like Judaism, right? Making it exclusive. Oh, we're not going to sacrifice humans. We're just going to sacrifice animals and create genocide. Kill off all these people that we don't believe in, right? And if you're a Jew hearing me say that, I'm talking about how the Canaanite Jews, right? Because they were Aztec Canaanites. There's all kinds of Canaanites. They're in all of our religions and they're in all of our cultures. This is not to the people. This is about the ruling class that's taking over our world and pitting us against one another, the people, mankind, because these are creature kind. This behavior of Luciferianism that are satanic in behavior, that practice witchcraft, are against mankind. And they're everywhere, and we have to distinguish their behavior from us, mankind, no matter our color, no matter our country, right? We have to distinguish that there's a difference, and we're not doing it. And it got to be done. We have no other card to pull. We got nothing left up our sleeves. We are man down, mankind down, if we don't do something to catch them, because out of their mouth they can't. They cannot claim Yeshua's way with his name and call him God. That's why claiming Yeshua as God, these creature kind can't do, because they're creatures that are satanic and worship Lucifer. I don't know how more clear to put everything that I'm saying. There is a difference, and no one's distinguishing differences. Differences in the scenes, right? Differences in how we say the word God without a name added to it. We have to add Yeshua's name to God. That's what I'm saying right now, so that we know that no, I'm talking about God. You over there, you're talking about a fallen angel, because there is only one God. So when Yeshua flesh and blood man is right here, and he's speaking to his Father somewhere else, right? How is that? The soul can separate into different cells, and we don't know nothing about that, right? And it takes that information from the soul, and it inherently knows without knowing why it knows. It just knows. The same way we have twins in physicality that can separate a cell and multiply that cell and duplicate that cell, and we can see quadruplets all look the same, have same behaviors. There's distinct differences because they are individuals. So King Joshua in the flesh is an individual separate from God, but yet his soul is one and the same. And that's stuff we're not taught, because we're not even taught that we have a soul, right? We don't even know what's going on with the operations of the soul, but it is the self. This physical operation right here, this body mechanic, this is a vehicle that we have to take care of. to its best capacity so it can hold the soul also to that same level and status. You can always see a soul by the condition of the body. And you can see the condition of the body reflects the soul. One reflects the other. And I'm not saying if your body's out of shape that you're a fucked up person. You gotta I almost went a whole video without saying. I tried, right? I'm not saying that you're a bad person. I'm saying you need a tune-up. You know, we need a tune-up. I showed you pictures of myself, how I used to look 11 years ago. I needed a tune-up, and I got tuned up. I'm going to help you guys tune up. Because we need it. We need it for the body, we need it for the mind, we need it for our soul, and we need it so that we have the power and the strength to be able to turn this around so we can get our world back, because we need a world to live in, because we can't accept what's coming online, because it will finish us and consume our soul and that of our children and our children's children, because it has no end, because it lives off of pain and suffering. Oh man, I thought this video was gonna go different. I had some things I wanted to pop up and they didn't pop up, but I hope to have gotten you guys at least some kind of information to Gary Wayne's call out. When I called him out, right, this is what I got, and it just shows me that Gary Wayne can't claim Yeshua HaMashiach. He can't even say his name. He can't even type it. So notice those things when you're listening to people talk about God. Make sure we're talking about the same person as a physical individual in the flesh and the blood, and the Father, right? Because Yeshua only called him Father. And I'm sure that was done for a reason, so that we can distinguish that there is a difference. We're getting help from outside of this machine with a narration. It doesn't mean that what's happening here ain't real. Oh, it's very real. Get punched in the face and tell me that's not real. Pain is real. So nothing is fake. There are no pretend people out here. There's no, I forget what they call them, MP3s. I don't even know what they call them, but they call them people who don't exist, right? Everybody exists. People have different levels to their soul, but that doesn't mean that somebody's soul is worth less than your own. Very important to know that. We have to start taking people and value people and value their soul, right? When I say value their soul, know their soul has worth. Our soul individually, independently, personally has worth, and this machine wants all of it. All of that worth that your soul is made up of, this machine wants. And it's going to get it if we don't do something about what's going on in our world. Ooh. I don't know how to finish that or end that, right? I don't know how to finish that or end that. Next week, I said I was going to talk about, call this YouTuber out who literally it says the way on his badge, and he's showing Yeshua's way while presenting all this Gnosticism and using certain words that in that video I'm going to express to you guys how you can hear when you're listening to somebody who's a Luciferian. Luciferians say the same words repetitively and nobody else uses them in their dialogue. And I've caught that pattern. Rosicrucians are Luciferians. Masons, Freemasons are Luciferians. Their behavior is satanic in rituals. Their practice is witchcraft. This is a no-go. These Essenes that are these Gnostics, I'm trying to see if they got a different name. When I say these Essenes, I'm not talking about the Nazarenes. I'm not talking about the Nazarenes. Yeshua was a Nazarene, Essene Jew. Essene meaning healer. He was a healer Jew. He was an I'm looking at the words right here, making sure I'm saying them all correctly. It was a Nazarene healer Jew. And the reason I'm saying it like that is so that we know what an Essene means. It means a healer, right? So we have to start talking where words mean what we're saying. When we say idols, people are pagans because they worship idols. No, 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 no. Let's say the words exactly what they mean is you're practicing witchcraft and you're sacrificing humans into these idols or to these idols. That sounds completely different. That sounds completely different. Oh, they're pagans because they worship idols. People hear that and it's like no big fucking deal. No, they're sacrificing human bloods. They're killing humans and animals to that idol that holds a demonic creature, right? That when it gets that blood, it's receiving data. There's data in the blood. When Yeshua said life is in the blood, it's that data, right? It's that information. And that information holds life in it. And these creatures are taking that life for themselves. While this machine is taking up the pain and the suffering, called quantum annealing, the lowest point of vibration. There's some stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about, vitamins, and it just doesn't sound like it's going to work in here. And I really wanted to bring it to you guys' attention. Next week, instead of me calling this guy out because he could wait a week, right? He could wait a week. I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple vitamin changes, making some adjustments I'm making, the data I found on why I'm making those adjustments, some personal experiences I had on why I even started looking to make the adjustment. I'm going to talk to you guys about vitamin D hormone. We're told that vitamin D like David, right? We're told that it's a vitamin. That thing's a hormone. It turns into a hormone. The reason that's such a big deal, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible because it's so complex. It opens and closes switches for other operations to work, over 1,000 of them. So if kids are, I'm going to give an example. If kids are peeing in the bed, their switch to not pee while they're sleeping is not switching on or off, so they're low in D vitamin hormone to close that door. If people are sleepwalking and sleep talking, they're not in a paralysis state that they're supposed to be in because they're in sleep mode because they don't have vitamin D hormone to switch that off. If our sugar is not going up from the blood into the cell, or the fat that's in the blood and it's supposed to go up into the cell, so people have these obesity problems and they just keep getting fatter no matter what they do, or people are diabetic and they can't get the glucose out their blood and into the cell, it's because they're missing vitamin D to regulate the switch in the hippocampus, right? To be able to send a signal to make that action actually happen. We are vitamin D deficient on such a global scale that we have been turned into being afraid of what we need and what we're made up of. Vitamin D comes from sunshine. We lack sunshine. I'm only going to bring this up shortly right here and then really bring it into next week's video. How we've been made afraid of the sun because of the sun worshipers, right? These sun worshipers, those who worship the sun, are evil, because the sun is what makes us function as a man and a woman, just because it's a hormone that makes this whole operation functional. In this, vitamin D hormone regulates your emotions, how you feel. How you feel is regulated by switches and doors to open for other actions to happen. And vitamin D we get from the sunshine. We lack sunshine on a global scale, on our skin to consume, then convert into vitamin D3 eventually, and then from there it turns into a hormone. Because of this, children are suffering. Grown people are suffering. Old people are suffering. Crazy people are suffering. Depressed people are suffering. Why is this happening? When it's such a quick, easy fix? Because we've been made afraid of the sun. Because the sun has been made demonic, diabolical. Just like our fat, our salt. Everything's evil. Everything's bad. Bad, no good, not good for you. Because this Canaanite mentality has made sure that we're afraid of everything that we're made up of. So this vitamin D hormone is a sunshine hormone that we're made up of. And we've been, in our minds, made afraid. We're not even aware of. Like, we're not even aware the fear that we have built in our psychology to what is normal and natural and necessary for proper operations of our healthy, natural nature. On this video, I'm gonna also put a couple links of people, they're suffering from vitamin D deficiency and they didn't even know it was that. When they found out it was that, they became back to normal. From a guy who looks like a biker, right, with a big beard. Those guys never want to talk about how they feel. But I find it very important to put that video up for those men out there who don't think that they got a problem. They can't, because men want to be able to handle and control their emotions, right? But their emotions are being fucked up. Oh, I did it again. Their emotions are being managed, right, and maneuvered into the negative because they lack this hormone D vitamin, right? So his testimony, I think, is going to help a lot of men who are blocked from even believing that they even need it. And then another young lady, her vitamin D experience, young lady, 20 years old, shouldn't have these kind of problems, but yet does, and was extremely deficient on vitamin D. And then I'm also going to put a video on how to know how to get your vitamin D testing by Dr. Berg. He did a really short, good video on you got to get both analysis so that you're getting the right one, because you can get a faulty vitamin D test. We're going to go into it more next week, but we're going to get our operations working right, fundamentally from the inside out, because that's how we're being taken out. Mankind's being taken out from the inside out, right? We're being broken down. We're becoming unraveled. I'm going to do everything I can to help us get our power back. Hola Pedro, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? Mucho mejor, ya te puedo entender poniéndomelo en español. Pero también de Brasil, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo está Pedro? All right. Lastly, I told you guys I was also going to post these guys who make, well, they used to, right? I thought I was going to be famous and fight and do all that. So I went and I found some people who could make my brand, but in a clothing line, these guys do a really good job, meaning that didn't happen. But I got all their information. You guys can use them. Beautiful stitching, you know, really good quality, really great material. The kind of stuff that you can wash over and over and it doesn't flake off. It's not cheap, like a lot of these. You go to get these things done, these screen printings, and they're really cheap. They got my logo, you know, how I wanted it. They put it where I wanted it. They gave me the stitch color I wanted. They make socks. They make a bunch of different stuff. And the material, what I like the best is you want to put this material on. It feels good. A lot of them that you get t-shirts from, the material is really cheap and it feels cheap. This stuff feels good. It's like one of the most, it's like thick, solid, and soft. That's the best way for me to explain it. So I'm going to put his name on there. His name is, their apparel they make this in Pakistan, okay? So, you know, you're helping out a family. This whole family literally stitches and sews and ships out in a really nice packaging and it gets to your house. They do a really good job. His name is Hamid and it's X Gear Sports. They even make leather coats. They sent me some stuff, and I'm staying away from leather now, right? Because I don't eat meat. But for those of you who do, and want these leather coats, they're gorgeous. They'll send you pictures and images. They do sportswear, socks, tracksuits, t-shirts. You can work with them and see how you can help them and how they can help you out, right? They're like a starter company, and they're a family trying to grow. I'm just trying to help them expand, right? They're very humble and good people with me. So you guys, I don't have no questions. Just want to tell you, what do I want to say? Be straight and be honest with their words. Don't be flimsy and loose with their words. When you claim Yeshua, you claim Jesus, they're not the same. It's not the same person. Look up Nimrod and you'll see what I'm talking about. These guys worship Nimrod and they call him Jesus, and they say Jesus all day in church, and they're Satanists. Call him Yeshua. And if they can't call him Yeshua back, and they give you every reason why they can't say King Joshua or King Yeshua or Yeshua HaMashiach, meaning the same name, know who you have in front of you. It ain't mankind. That's what I'm saying. And if you're mankind, ask yourself, what side are you on? State a claim. Say it out loud. Don't be in the closet about it. Pascal Leon, pretty sleep. All right. Yeah, you have a good sleep too. Muchas buenas noches a todos. Everybody have a good, blessed night. Till next week. This is Truth and Integrity Warrior, Michelle Angelic. I didn't even try to rhyme, but it did. Stay well and stay blessed.